Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back. And today I'm going to be doing a project from PAPERCRAFT Society, or with the contents of the box from PAPERCRAFT Society Box 37, which has been designed by the amazing Sam Calcott. And as Sam designed this box specifically with spinner cards in mind, we are going to make a spinner card first. Now, for anyone who might not have ever seen a spinner card before, I'm going to just slide the box to one side, hopefully not knocking my camera as I go, as if. And I'm going to slide this one in here. This is one I've already made up, and when I first made him up, he was perfectly lined up, but then the children came wanting to play with him. I tried to put it back together, and it didn't quite line up perfectly, but you'll get the idea. So what you do is I'll show you what he looks like. So obviously that's a penguin, and so when you open it, it flips around like that. And when I first put it on, it was centralised beautifully. So you open it out. So I'll show you what you do. You wind him up like that. You just wind it up and then you let him go. Whee! And if you centralised it properly, it'll spin perfectly. And hopefully our next one will. Now I haven't put a backing on this one, but we are going to put a backing on the one we're going to make today. So here we go. I've already cut my card. This is a 6x6 card, and you've probably guessed what I've already done. I opened this out flat and I've already cut my aperture out, but we're not going to use one of the one I used on this one. This is a smaller card. This is about a 5x5, but I used one of the stamps and matching dies. But when I tried to do that again for this card, we had a disaster, folks. My die cutting machine has finally given up the ghost. I've noticed it's been getting slower and slower lately. It's an electronic one, and it has finally given up the ghost. I have ordered a new one, but obviously it wasn't here in time. As it only happened this morning, it's not going to be as quick as they are. They're not going to be here in time to do this video. So we're going to go back to doing it the old-fashioned way. So I have used, for the spinner section, now I'll explain why I've already made this up in a minute, but I have used one of the, or two actually, of the die cuts. Sam very kindly supplied a few die cuts already made out, so if you don't want to do with the colouring and the stamping, you can just use the ones that were already made up. Or if you haven't got this box yet, or you're not a member of PAPERCRAFT Society, you can use any stamp that you like. Just a quick hint here, you can use any stamp you like, stamp it twice, cut it out with a circle die, or if you haven't got a circle die or you haven't got a die cutting machine, use something like this. Use a roll of tape, just draw around it and cut it out. But what I would suggest is I would suggest you stamp your image first and then cut it out. I find it a lot easier. Now again, in this box that Sam has supplied, you will find some what they're calling invisible thread or an invisible twine or invisible cord to make your spinners with. Now the only problem about using the invisible stuff, it's brilliant, it's so fine, I could hardly see it, but the problem with doing that on video is it doesn't show up, so I would look like I was working with thin air. So what I've done is, this is just a white elastic band, and I cut it. I used a pair of scissors and I cut it just once to make a long continuous string, and then I used some double-sided tape, put it together, and I just made sure that they were both lined up, and I've put them back to back. Now I'll let you into a little secret, folks. I wasn't going to tell you this, but it'll give you a laugh. The reason I've already made this up and I haven't made it up with you was because when you do it this way, of course, you've got that open like that, which is what we're going to do. And I put it in the right way round when I did it. And so when you go to put it together, it turns out upside down. So you have to put it upside down to begin with. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use a bit of my red runner tape, and actually do you know what, we won't use red runner tape, we will use, because that's just about run out, well, we'll use that in a minute. We'll use some double-sided tape. You can use red line tape if you want to, But I wouldn't use glue for this, folks, because it probably won't, well, it won't work. I wouldn't use glue for this. So we're going to have our card like that, and hope to goodness that the backing tape comes off easily. So to begin with, if you've got your card with this bit would be the front, make sure when you put this down, and I'm going to show you how to put it in. Now I've used an elastic band for the purposes of those who haven't got this box, and makes it easier to see. So what we're going to do, put it so that it's quite near the top and hold it down. Now before you do anything else, I would suggest you take another piece of tape or double-sided tape just to stop that from coming off. Take the backing tape off, and I'll tell you what else I've done. I've got some scraps. Now this is about 2 1/4 by 1/2 inch. I haven't measured it, but I will pop this if you want those measurements. I will pop it down, and we're going to just do that just so that it doesn't come off while we're in the middle of doing this bit. Now what you do next is you pull until that comes into the centre. When your spinner part is in the centre of your aperture, push it down like that. And it may pop up again, hopefully it won't, but it might do. So hopefully, before it gets the chance to do that, we are going to pop another piece, we made it, wonderful, of double-sided tape. And we're going to peel it off. And again, I've got another scrap. Again, it's about roughly 2 1/4 by 1/2 inch. And we're going to stick that down nice and firm. Now, any overhang you've got of your spinner element, just take a piece of, or a pair of scissors rather, piece of scissors, now that could be fun, couldn't it? And just cut it off, but don't pull it and cut it off, because you might pull your threader piece through. So now, hopefully, when we pull that over, that will be the right way round, and it is wonderful. Now, I've got a few elements just to put on the front. As I say, my die cutting machine has died on me, and I was going to use the light bulbs, or the fairy light bulbs, to go around the front. But because my die cutting machine has died on me, I don't have a manual machine. So what I've done, in my stash, I have found these gorgeous, they're actually felt. They're for putting round, they're actually for wrapping, to put round if you're going to decorate some wrapping. But I've got 9 of these, and on the back, I've taken, no, what have I done with them? There we go. I'll just show you what I've done. I've taken one of these foam tapes, or foam pads, and just cut it lengthways down there. So what I'm going to do with these, because I couldn't cut my light dies out, I'm going to use these. It won't go all the way around, but that doesn't matter. So we're going to have 3, if you can have each corner of a circle, well, 3 going towards each corner of the card, let's put it that way. But I want them to be reasonably close together. So we're just going to quickly pop these on like that. So the rest of this video should, she says hopefully, be plain sailing, unless we have any other disasters. But if we do at this stage, I'm sure we can manage. I'm sure we'll be able to sort them out on air, so to speak. So we're going to pop that one down there. I'm just going to put 3 in each corner very quickly. So we just take off the backing like that, and we're going to do that with the others. This bit won't take long at all. And then when I've finished this card, we'll have another bash at winding it up and making it spin. So we'll just very quickly put these 3 on. Then I've just got a sentiment, which I've also taken from the pop-out sections of the set. Again, you can use any sentiments that you've got in your stash if you haven't got this box, or any stamps that you've got. Whatever you like, you can even handwrite one if you want to. I used to do that, in fact I still do sometimes. If I can't find a sentiment in my stash that I want, I write my own. But I have to admit, I don't do that very often these days. Stamping and die cutting has made me lazy. I don't do that often. I suppose you could, if you're clever, you could do it with a computer, if you're one of these clever people that can do things on computers. I'm too old for that type of thing, but you never know. Maybe I'll learn one day. So there's always one that doesn't want to come off, isn't there? There we go. So that's that one. We got there in the end. And I've just got one more, and that's the embellishment. And I've got, there's no one like you. I like that. I might give that one to my beloved. Or I might give it to my brother, actually, because there's certainly no one like him, which is probably a blessing. So there we go. Stick that all together. And we got there in the end. So then, of course, what you do is you wind it up like that. So we won't go too far with that one. And let it go. Whee! I like that. Shall we do that again? These round ones, I like doing that. So when it's standing up and you do that, I can't show you because of the position of my camera, you won't see it. So there we go. Whee! I like that. That one works better than the other one did. So there we go. Now that's the one with the background. I'm not going to play with it anymore, I promise. And that's my very wonky one, when it went wonky after the children had played with it, without. And I haven't done a border on this one, I've just used these, so I'll pop that one away. So there is our spinner card, and in this case I've used an elastic band. And that was using, if I just, now can I pop that there and put that there? On, how about if I pop it on top? No, you can't really see that very well, can you? Okay, let me put that down there. So we've made this card use, apart from the felt lights, it's been used in the majority of our box, Papercraft Society Box 37. So I hope you've enjoyed this set. And I almost kept the other one in where I put the thing upside down, and I was going to release it as a blooper, but I couldn't stop laughing, and so I thought, no, I can't do that to people. But if I can still find it, perhaps I will, but to be honest with you, I probably won't because it was rather embarrassing. So there we go. There is our first spinner card from Papercraft Society Box 37, and I do hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're enjoying these videos, please do give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. If you're not already a member, or if you're not already a subscriber, if you are, thank you very much. But if you're not, and you're enjoying these videos, including my mistakes, I'm sure there'll be many more to come, do hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell, and you'll never miss another video. And when you come back on Friday, I'll be back on Friday again now, and we'll be using some different elements from the same box. Hopefully my die cutting machine will have come by then and I'll be able to do some die cutting again. And we will be making a shaker card. So I hope you can join me for that. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Have fun. And as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.